Good morning, and welcome to our first ever Facebook Live podcast, sponsored by the JCC of Goodwill. Today we have a special guest, but before we get to our special guest, I just want to introduce myself and introduce why we are here. My name is Charles Gibbon. I work at Goodwill as a job developer, and Goodwill mission is to we improve the lives of people with disabilities or other disadvantages through employment, training, and opportunities. So that's our mission, and that's why we're here, is to be able to help our clients virtually with some of the things that they're facing, whether it's employment or, in this case, just kind of helping get through this crisis. If you want to contact us, our website is at www.goodwillnwohio.com. You can find us on Facebook at Goodwill Now and at JCC NWO. You can stop in person at the downtown location, the Madison location, from 8 to 4. And you can also call us at 419-255-0070, extension 3104, or you can email us at jcc@goodwillnwohio.org. All right. So now that we got that all out the way, I'm going to start by introducing our guest. I'm going to actually let our guest introduce himself. So go ahead, sir.
Hello, Charles. Thanks for having me. My name is Rick Perz, and I'm a ProMedica Financial Opportunity Center. Basically, I've been, background is I've been a coach for the FOC, and now I am currently placed at Goodwill, working with the fine people at Goodwill with our partnership, the ProMedica and Goodwill partnership. And we focus on the JCC to help people find jobs. And my connection with all of that is to support with financial coaching and counseling.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for joining us. So as we get ready to start, what exactly, you said you help, what exactly does a coach do?
Well, basically what my job is to do is to help people basically reach their financial goals. Now, there's a couple of different things that we do, and what we offer our services is integrated service delivery. And it's a three-pronged system. It basically, what I do is I help people first and foremost find income supports, things like SNAP benefits or Connect to Community benefits, things like Medicaid, Social Security, disability. Basically help the client work towards those income supports to kind of help them get more income in so they can live an easier life. Next, we work into the financial coaching aspect, which can work with about any aspect in regards to your finances. I have clients that come in that need help with credit building. I have clients that need help with budgeting. Sometimes we need to organize and get ready for retirement. There's all aspects of financial business for the client is what I do. I help them set goals and then for them to reach those goals. And that's the basis of what we do.
That's awesome. And it's such a joy and a privilege to be able to have that resource into our Job Connection Center. Because our is to be able to help people seek employment. But once you get employment, you have to learn how to manage it and budget, be able to attain the goals that you're trying to attain. So that's awesome. And it's definitely been great to have you around, and it's been great to be able to offer this resource to our clients. So we just want to take the time and just thank you for all that you do for us, because you guys have been a great, tremendous help to us.
Well, sure. And that's, I mean, to me, that's why this partnership is so great, is your focus at Goodwill is to help people find jobs. And that's a huge focus. And part of what my job was before with this partnership was to help people find jobs. And the way we focus it, or the way we look at it, is that sometimes finding a job is not always enough. Once we get that job, then we're here to support, to work on the other aspects of kind of budget, living within your means, things of that nature to help support. Because sometimes you get that job now, and then you don't really know how to handle that money that's coming in, and you're going to find yourself in harder times just because of that. So that's where I step in and I help people work towards those goals.
Right. So if you can, just kind of walk me through the process of how does that look? So say, for example, a new client that comes in and How does that look? What is that process like?
Well, the process is the first deal is to kind of get to know the client a little bit. And what we do is we have an intake packet, and we have a number of different questions so we can kind of get to know the person's situation. We also have some releases, whether it be a credit release or basically just research grounds of things. But we also do some surveys to kind of get to the nitty gritty, so to speak, of what's going on or how they focus on their finances. Basically, that first session, depending on what's going on. Now, obviously, with COVID, it's more virtual now. So we got to send the paperwork, we got to send the packet, and then wait for that to come back. But in regards to things, we get to know the client a little bit, find out what their goals are, what their interests are, what they need help with, and then we kind of move forward from there. My first appointment normally lasts about an hour and a half with the client to help me get to know them get to know me, kind of get the ins and outs of things. And then what I do is I gather all that information, whether we build a budget together, we pull their credit, we work on a balance sheet, which kind of divvies up their assets and their liabilities. And what I do is then I look at that information and create a financial assessment. And on our second appointment, then I work with we kind of talk about their goals a little bit more, put goals on paper, and then kind of develop a plan to reach those goals. And then all appointments after that are kind of come down to different aspects, different steps to each one of those goals. So maybe one particular appointment will build some credit today. We're gonna figure out a plan how to do that. Or hey, maybe we need to adjust our budget, maybe cut some spending. So let's put our heads together and figure out where we need to cut or where we have the ability to cut, and then kind of develop a plan moving from there. My whole thought process is we set a goal in mind, but then we set the steps to get and reach that goal. And then basically all of our appointments after that are just going through the steps, working with the client and supporting the client to reach those goals.
So if so for a new client, how long is that process? Like, is it a 2-year window, 3-year window, 1 year?
I mean, basically, we work with our clients as long as they want to work with us.
That's awesome.
Obviously, we look at things, from a lot of different perspectives. And a lot of times we're educating, we're helping down the line. We have clients that basically call us once a year and say, hey, this is what's going on with me. What can we do to work on? And then we do that. So it's kind of up to the client feel and where they want to go.
Okay, so the process is kind of individually based on the client. So it's not a pretty cut place for everybody. It's different. For sure.
And we say, we think, it's 3 to 5, 6 visits, before we can really get to the down to what they want to do and what we're doing. We with people as long as they want to work with us. Like we said, we can work as down the line. If it takes only a few things and they feel like they're comfortable, then we kind of help them do most of these things themselves eventually. So.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. For the coach, what does success look like for you? How do you measure your success?
My success is just kind of the way I look at things is being prepared and working with my clients. I prepare a decent amount for every single individual situation. Now, my thought of being successful is just helping the client reach where their goals are, where they want to get. And it's a step process. It's not going to just happen like overnight. Sometimes it takes a long period of time. But sometimes when you're building credit, we don't move very quickly in regards to things because, the things that we do don't come back with points. Right. So the example we normally give is that you could lose 20 points on your credit score in 5 seconds. It could take you 6 months to a year to get that back. Right. It just depends on what you're doing. So to me, my goal is I get in the building every day. I walk into our meetings with our clients, and all I'm trying to do is help them accomplish their goals. So when they start to accomplish things, start to feel better about themselves, and that's the win-win for me.
That's awesome. So speaking of clients, Do you have a success story that you can share with us, or maybe about when a client came in and one of the goals that they achieved, or what was the goal? And,
Sure.
how did that make the client feel? How did that make you feel once they achieved that goal?
Well, I mean, obviously, when I know I helped someone, it makes me feel great, and it really feel accomplished and feel like I did my job and I did my best. Now, a particular client that I can think of is I had a family that came in. Basically, their goal was to move, but their credit scores were very low, and they had debts and bills to pay. Now, with that, what we did is we organized their bills. We created a sort of a debt snowball plan. Basically, it's a financial plan how to pay your debts down.
Okay.
And with that process, it also connects to a building credit plan. And when we started to do those things, we started to build their credit, build their credit into the 700. So what we suggest is we want to have all our clients 700s, because at that level they can go and borrow money from a bank or a creditor,
right,
and they're going to be listed as a very high level client, and they're going to get that money. They're going to get that loan quickly, being in the 700s.
Real quick,
now,
so you said the goal was to get them in the 700.
Yeah.
Where were they when they started? How long did it take to get them to the 700?
I'd say they were, somewhere in the 640s.
Okay.
Right there. Now, it basically, sometimes things happen quickly. If you pay off a debt,
right,
let's say you owe $1,000 and you have some money saved or whatever along those lines, and you pay that $1,000, you might gain 20 points or something right there once you get rid of that debt. We look at your debt utilization, so to speak, and what it is the amount of credit that you're given and the amount of credit that you're using. If you're using too much credit, then your score is going to be going down. So what we try to do is we develop a plan to help those people pay off their bills and do them as quick as we possibly can. So once we start paying those bills off, the utilization starts getting better and the points on their credit start to go up.
Okay.
So, basically, it was just paying the right bills, paying the right time. We follow a debt snowball plan where we line up all of their debts from the least amount that they owe to the most amount they owe. And we focus on going after the lowest amount and paying those low ones off, and we gradually move down to the bigger ones. And the more debts you pay off, you still keep the money that you're paying to all those debts in this pool, so you just move it down to the next one. So, I mean, a roundabout deal, that's kind of what we did. And we started to move in the right direction with that. When they reached a certain level, they decided they wanted to put their house up for sale to see, what would go on. And they sold their house within 2 weeks. And, so then they were looking for a new house, and they went and they got pre-approved. Their credit score had gotten up into the high 600s, and they were approved immediately. And they kind of went and transitioned into that new home, that new life that they wanted to do. I also helped. Thank you. I also help that client get focused with their retirement. My whole goal for all of my clients is to seriously, let's look at your debts. Let's pay those debts off. Let's figure out a plan to do that. And it might take 2 years. It might take 2 months. Let's get our debts out of the way, so then we can start to focus on future issues like retirement. We want to have a retirement account, so when you hit 65, 67, you have the ability to retire. Right. A lot of people out there don't realize that. They just think that retirement is a gift, and it's not really a gift. Retirement is earned, and we need to start putting money away as early as we possibly can to help those people. We don't want somebody in their 60s or 70s having to go to work because they don't have enough money to live off of. So that's kind of the goal process there. So I helped that particular couple get organized, and then we connected them with a financial advisor, and now they're moving forward and doing very well with their retirement planning. So
that's awesome, man. Especially, I know, working in this field, or anytime you're working with people, you have your success stories, and sometimes you have your difficult ones, the ones that's not as successful. So when you get those wins, it's a great feeling. I know that as a person that work and help people find jobs, it's awesome to be able to help somebody find, especially that dream job or that
Yeah.
start that career that they really want to go into. And as a coach, I mean, anytime you can see a kid or anybody just meet a goal is just one of the most rewarding things. So thank you for all that you do. And
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's a great story. So we talked about some of the success. What are some of the difficulties that you face when you're working with a new client, or what's some of the common things that clients are dealing with?
Well, basically, I mean, there's a lot of different situations. We have clients that come in that are living on the streets. They're homeless. We have clients that are returning citizens. They're just coming back into the community and really don't know what direction they want to go or how to accomplish these things. So a lot of times these steps may take a little bit longer. It's kind of hard to get an apartment or a place to live when you don't have a job. And then with all the stipulations that you have, whether it be like a credit score, most apartments will check your credit score. If you have a low credit score, it's bottomed out for some reason, then they're not going to accept you in the apartment, even if you have the money. Right. So you have people like who are returning citizens, maybe their credit score is very low, they have a lot of debt, and they're looking for an opportunity for a job. And a lot of these things kind of connect with each other. If one's not working, then they kind of get a hurdle in their way and they can't get through that hurdle. So what our job is to do is to help them through these steps and get where, it might take a little bit longer. It might take some months to do this, but the goal is to work through these steps and get there as quick as we possibly can. And that's kind of the hardships that, right here, but every client that walks in, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And we just have to put them in the direction to get and reach that. And it's one step leads to the next step, leads to the next step. And then you become successful and get to where you want to be. It's very simple to see once you kind of get everything organized. And a lot of times walk in and they just don't know how to organize themselves to move forward. And that's kind of what we do. Financial coach, I do a lot of different things, but we always say at the FOC that we wear a lot of different hats. We might be a counselor one day, we might be a financial coach one day. It just depends on the situation, and every individual's situation is different.
It's awesome. So all of these great services, what's the fee? How much would this cost a client, or if a new person's coming in, what's the fee to be able to work with you?
We are absolutely free for everyone in the community.
That is awesome.
Yeah, basically we're as a financial opportunity center, we get paid through grants and donations and others that come in play. So when we come to work every day, we're a free service, and our whole goal is just to help people. It just it's sort of like you clock in and you help people, you clock out every day. But it's a completely free service. We never ask for any money whatsoever, and everybody's eligible. A lot of times people think, oh, we work for ProMedica, you just help the ProMedica employees. Well, yes, we do help employees, but it's open for anybody in the community. And we're connected through the Ebeid Institute and the Ebeid Promise for basically helping people in the community reach their goals.
So if we have clients out here, our clients that's listening to us, you can definitely get in contact with us and we can refer you to Rick. But if someone else doesn't want to come through us, or if they have another venue that see this, how would someone be able to get in contact with the FOC, or how would somebody what's the steps to getting this process started?
The first process is I can give you a phone number real quick. This is our general number for the Financial Opportunity Center at ProMedica. It's 567-585-0059. That's 567-585-0059. Now, this particular number will connect you to any coach. We have 7 coaches and our manager, Michelle Gorsuch, over at the ProMedica FOC. So if for some reason someone can't work with me, we have many other coaches that are certified and do the same exact thing that I do on a regular basis. Now, we do have an email for that thing as well. It's foc@promedica.org. That's foc@promedica.org. Now, also, if a person wants to meet up with me and work with me, is as follows: is 567-585-0198. That's 567-585-0198. And my email is richard.perz, P as in Paul, ERZ, @promedica.org.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. And again, you know, for people that's joining us off our Facebook Live page or on our post, if you feel free, you can contact us with the information that I share. To kind of have a wraparound service where we can not only help you find employment, but we can also help with the process of helping you once you get the job, once you get the employment, helping you reach some other goals besides the employment. So as we get ready to wind down, what are some tips that you may have just for some of our listeners? We know we have the COVID-19 scare, people maybe not as working as much. What's some tips that you can maybe give to help get through this financially?
Well, what we're doing, I mean, is with the COVID-19 pandemic, our complete focus is emergency services right now to help people get through this. I mean, so that's kind of mostly what I've been doing. Now, I'm still working with my clients, but we're doing it virtually. We're doing it, over Zoom or Skype, or using the phone, and trying to communicate with people. But what we're trying to do is try to help people kind of prioritize their bills right now. So when we're looking at your budget, you're looking at your bills, we want to prioritize our bills. So we're focusing our clients on their basic needs first. The biggest thing is we try to focus people on shelter, their rent, their house, something, their food, and their transportation. Those are our basic needs that we all need to get through. So what we focus people on that, and we want you to prioritize your bills in that manner. The biggest thing is with prioritizing your bills, we look at things that we might not be using right now, and we suggest to maybe cut those bills out of your budget for a short period of time.
An example of that would be
yeah, like things like a gym membership.
Okay.
A lot of people have gym memberships right now, but the gyms aren't open. Right. So maybe you should, save that $20, save that $50. And what we suggest is once you start cutting these bills, other things like Apple Music or, Hulu or something along those lines, we have to prioritize what's the most important to us. So what we try to do is, if we have to cut some of these bills, we save that money. We immediately suggest you put that money into an emergency fund to prepare yourself for future issues, because we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last.
Right.
We could be sitting here next year at this time dealing with some of the same issues. So the more money we can save and put away for future reference for emergencies is for the better. That's kind of one of the things what we do. We're basically, we're talking to people about student loans too. Like a lot of people don't really realize that when this all came out and the CARES Act came, they suspended all student loan payments. They said nobody has to make their student loans from now till September 30th. Now, we did kind of looked into that and realized that they were going to 0% interest on those student loans too. So no one has to make a payment and it's 0% interest. So what we're suggesting to people is if you have the money, if you're still working and you're not in dire straits, so to speak, really think about to pay those student loans, because with no interest in play, most of your payments are going to your principal and taking that off. And we try to, the way I coach a lot of my clients is if you look at your student loan payments, and this kind of goes with your house payment, your car payment, or anything else, is that the mass majority of that payment that you make goes to interest, goes to fees, goes to other things like that, and very little amounts go to your principal. So when you get an opportunity like the student loan situation, and you can put some money down on your principal and pay some of this off, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run. So it's kind of one of those steps and tips that we're doing for sure. And the other thing is just kind of talking with your service providers, calling them up, whether it be your creditors or your utilities or whatever, and asking them what programs they have available and mentioning COVID. A lot of them have programs and plans if you mention COVID. Just saying COVID on the phone, and they're going to help you out. We've realized that a lot of, if you mention COVID on the report, your credit in a positive standing or current standing all the way till roughly 4 months after this pandemic is done, possibly. It just kind of going and calling every single service provider, every single creditor, and seeing what plans or programs they have available for you to help you. I have to say, a lot of these, they're not required to go and say, here, we got this plan. But if you call them up and talk to them and keep an open communication line with them, they're going to be more willing to help you and kind of get you in one of these plans or programs to get you through this hard time.
That is awesome to know, especially to know those keywords. That is a great tip, especially about the student loans. I think a lot of people, like you said, they hear that they can be in deferment, but they're not realizing how much money you can save by keep paying on it, that it's not going to go into interest. I didn't even know that, man. And so thank you.
No problem. I mean, basically, when you look at that, how much you owe, whether it be $20,000, $50,000, or whatever on your student loans, and your interest level is 4% or 5%, they're taking that on what you owe. 5% goes right there. So obviously, if you cut that down to 5,000 or more, that interest level is going to be lower. So just kind of how it goes.
And we have a question that popped up. What do you suggest maybe the best credit card of right now? Do you suggest maybe not using one? Do you get one for hard times, or do you have one in particular that you think would be better, or what do you think about?
Well, my number one thing I talk to my clients in particular is what credit really is. And what credit is you're borrowing money from somebody. Now, there's a lot of benefits to that, in regard to things, situations. But you're looking, I guess, to answer the question, if you're looking to get a credit card, and credit cards do help in boosting your credit score if you're using them correctly. We commonly suggest to people that we want to keep that limit between 10 and 30% of whatever the credit limit is, or the balance between 10 and 30%. Because once you hit 30%, get a little bit higher than that, your score starts going down because they believe that you're stretching your ability to pay. So if you're going to get a credit card, first of all, we want to look at no annual fees. Do not get a credit card with an annual fee, because you could be sitting there with a zero balance and all of a sudden there's a $5 charge on your credit card for that. You don't want anything like that in regards to that. And you're also looking, if you're looking for credit cards, you want to have, if you're going to get one, get a 0% interest card for 12 months or 24 months or whatever they're offering. Because in regards to that, you put some money on there, you don't have any interest to worry about, so you can pay those things off and move forward. So those are the two key steps with that. But kind of remember, you are borrowing money. This is not a freebie in any aspect of it. Is you are going to pay interest on it, and a lot of those interests are 24, 27, 32, 35. So you're looking for lowest interest rate possible when you get a credit card. And we suggest, just if you're trying to build your credit and you're trying to move in the right direction, open up a secured credit card where you put the money down, and you're basically borrowing from yourself is an option, but you're putting something small every single month and then paying it off. A lot of times we suggest people putting their Netflix bill on a brand new credit card, and then make it automatic payments, and then go and put that credit card away and forget about it. Because you're playing a game here, so to speak, with things. You're trying to earn points, and you're trying to play the game according to the way it's played, and it's using that credit, paying it off, showing the creditor that you can borrow and then pay it off on a consistent basis, and your score will start moving in the right direction.
Thank you so much for that tip. That is great information, and hopefully that was helpful. And thank you for joining. A lot of great information you gave us. And again, just for our clients, we are offering a wraparound service here at the JCC. Not only will we be able to help you with employment, career, resume, job searching, not only those things, but once you get that employment, we are able to help you manage the money. help you reach your fitness.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for taking time out your busy schedule. Again, if you want to just repeat that information, your contact information, just so we can make sure that's the last thing we leave with.
For sure. My is 567-585-0198, and my email is Richard, as in Paul, ERZ, at ProMedica.org. Or if you want to just, our number is 567-585-0059, or email us at foc@promedica.org.
And also, you can reach us at 419-255-0070, extension 3104, or you can email us at jcc@goodwillnwohio.org. Thank you for joining us, and we will be posting job searching and financial tips as well. So continue to follow us, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you.